Hi, I'm Andrew, an entrepreneur and a computer science student,
Hi, I'm Verene, a psychology major student.
and you're now listening to the Ink Thoughts podcast, where we ponder and talk about incongruous thoughts ranging from our daily life to the human mind. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ink Thoughts podcast. Today we are actually accompanied by a guest. We have Radzman on this episode as well. And how are you, Radzman? How do you feel today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
What about you, Verene?
Yeah,
Are
I'm good
you-
as well. but I'm a bit tired today. Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up from a nap as well. Yeah, because I usually have a afternoon nap. I just can't really work directly through afternoon without a nap. So I had to get myself a 15 minutes nap after I wrote my blog. But yes, today we're actually talking about the feeling of growth. So can we start with Verene first? Verene,
Okay.
what is actually your first experience of growth? The first time when you have actually felt growth?
Okay, I think it was back when I'm in secondary school. So during that time I was a prefect. So we have afternoon class and morning class. So the prefect board is separated as well. So for afternoon class, we have Form 1 and Form 2 only. Then so we have those committee on the prefect board, and basically there are people from Form 2 lah. Then so last time when I was in Form 1, then after more than half year of doing all those duty and learning all those stuff, then we are being chosen as those candidates to become the committee next year. So during that time, I was one of the candidate as well. So because it's the first time I'm in such a strong competition, everyone is trying to trying to become the best, so they can remain there. Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. Yeah.
So throughout that progress, so basically we have a few times where they just get rid of someone. So yeah, so to reduce the number of candidates. Then when I remember that it was the last time where they reduced the number of candidates before the AGM. And they are just going to remove one person, and that person is me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds a bit sad actually.
Yes. I don't know why. When I try to look back from now, so during that time I was really sad. Yeah. Then I feel like, oh, so sad. It's such a failure or something. Then
Did you feel like your world is like falling apart or something? Like, oh shit, like that's one important thing that why is it happening to me?
Yeah, actually that day itself, I actually feel so good. But a few days later, actually I feel not that sad. Like, just that whenever I see my friends, they're still doing those candidates work, then I feel a bit sad. Oh, I'm no longer part of it. Yeah. Then but then when we are in Form 2, then one day I think that something happened, but it's not related to me. It's related to my friends who are those committee that time. That time I actually realized that I've moved on from those feeling of failure and all. So I actually realized the feeling of growth for me is try to learn from failure and accept the failure. Yeah, that was the very first experience that I realized the feeling of growth.
Okay. That's cool. What about you, Radzman?
Well, for me,
What's your first experience on this?
I don't actually remember, but I think the most significant for me, I think the first one that is the most significant is when I got the job that I wanted.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because right away after I graduated, for a few years I worked. I didn't get the job that I wanted at the time, and then after about 3 years, and then I got the job as an aircraft technician. So I think that one is quite significant in terms of growth, because it actually matters to me. So yeah, that I think I would consider that as my first one, because it's actually significant to me.
Okay. I've one interesting question for you. How would you actually define growth? To you, what is actually growth?
For me, I think that if you're talking about growth, it's a broad subject, right? So
Mm.
I think that we have to think about what actually matters to us. What kind of
Mm.
growth that actually have meaning to you. Because sometimes you can actually like tell yourself that any kind of achievement for you, maybe you can tell yourself that it is some kind of a growth to you, but if it doesn't really have any meaning, then it doesn't really much matter for me, at least
Mm.
personally. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay.
so I will try to for me I will try to chase what I want, and then I will get the satisfaction from it. Yeah,
Mm.
instead of just try to improve myself without any goal. So that's
Mm.
my point of view.
Okay. Yeah, I quite agree with you. I agree with the fact that there's a lot of achievement in lives. Because achievement are not just defined by us. Some things are considered achievement by a lot of people. Like the society perceives some things as achievement as well. But then when that thing just isn't mattered by us, it's actually not growth. Even though people might come to you and say, "Hey, congratulations, you did that really well." Like, oh my god, that's
Yeah.
amazing. But for you, because like that's no place in your art. You just be like, okay, I guess thanks for the recognition, but for me, yeah, it is like not growth or something. Oh yeah, perhaps something like maybe you're something is just that it's something that you have done it so many times that you think is actually so normal. But for that person, when he actually see you doing it for the first time, it's like so impressive, and he came to you like, oh yeah, amazing, like great job for that. But maybe for because it's his first time seeing you doing this new thing for him, so he think that it's an achievement if he gets to do that. But for you, you're doing it. You've done it so many times. Of course, maybe for your first time doing this, it's growth as well. But since it's like so many times already, yeah, it's pretty normal for me. Maybe if I do improve myself, like doing it faster or something, maybe it's considered growth. But yeah, for now, it's just not really a growth.
But I think sometimes those very little thing as well can be considered growth as well, as long as it's something that is significant to us.
Yes. Like what I said, like yeah, we when you actually yeah, when you improve on that thing, like the person sees that you have been doing it, just that maybe that day you are just doing it with normal effort, so you actually don't think that that's growth. But maybe if you put additional effort, like you did it faster, something, it's important to appreciate like you did it better as well.
Yeah.
Not only when other people say that you actually did it better,
Mm.
something like that.
Yeah, because I think that ultimately we have to keep our we need to have our own definition of success. I think
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
yeah,
yes. It's just not. It's ultimately success is your own thing, so we shouldn't depend on how people comment on it, or like how people recognize it. Like how we think of it is actually kind of the ultimate thing. But yes, actually, I can't really remember when's the youngest I actually experienced growth. But one thing which I really remember dearly is actually when I had an employee, because I had two employees working with me before, uh, and I actually the second one is actually hired to replace the first one, because he was gonna go for further studying, so I had to find another to replace him. And I I know that in current society, it's always good to have a very committed worker, which will actually help to suggest things and want to contribute something to make the company better as well. But
Mm-hmm.
I never really understood how that really worked until there is one day when I realized that the second employee that I hired, he actually went on and he kind of implemented new stuff without telling me, which of course, when that happened, you kind of feel a bit mad as well, like, oh, because there's definitely some risk involved when you put in new things. You never know what can happen, and yeah, you just be like, oh my god, if you were to do this, something went bad, everything will go bad, right? Like you should tell me first. Like we should think about the consequences or whatever before we do that. But in fact, he did it. It went well, which of course is something happy about. But still, I actually at that moment in time, I had that thought like, okay, why did you do this without telling me? But when it actually, because luckily it turned out well, so I another thought took over where I thought about actually, because I thought back a few times, she actually tried to did the same thing, but bad consequences happened. So I actually told him like, you should tell me or something. But because of that time when good things happen, I actually thought of all the experiences I had with him when he's actually doing all this. He actually don't mind taking on those consequences, and he's actually actively trying to solve it. Like if something bad happens, he's actively trying to solve it. He's not doing it just for fun. He's actually doing it trying to get the good outcome. But if the good outcome doesn't turn out to be true, he will try to solve the problem, and he will actively try to maybe help you to solve it as well. So he's actually looking for trying to improve a company, something like that. That is like my first time when I understood, like, oh, okay, so even though I know that this thing is important, that we need to be more we need to accept more people's like ideas or something, even though like they are like normal employees or something. But I never actually accepted that. I wasn't someone that actually are able to accept that until that moment in time when I realized, oh, actually I should be more open-minded. As long as he is being responsible, he is actually trying to do something that's good for a company. He actually, whatever outcome it turns out to be, he will actually help the company in order to like maybe go back to the right path or something, because he knows that he actually did it wrong. But it's okay for him to do it wrong, because he will be responsible for the outcome as well. And I don't mind helping him to like solve all the problems that he have made, since it's all like an experiment to try to make the company better, and the outcome isn't that bad as well. So that is for me like the wow moment when I when I actually like felt the growth, like, okay, so I've been wrong all this time. There's actually something right-ish. Yeah.
Okay, I actually have one question for you, but I think it's not directly related to growth. But do you remember a few I can't remember which episode is that, but we talk about, so you tell about something like we should do before we ask, and do you remember?
Yes. Yes.
So do you think this idea actually like contradicts a bit on what happened?
No. Well, I'm not sure when did I say that, but I thought I actually said that we should actually do it before we ask for permission, though, because that is actually what I read from the 4-hour work week.
Yeah.
So we should just do it straight before us asking for permission, right? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So that's not contradicting, right? Like for me, it's like how my employee did it. He actually just went and do it for like at least 3 times. That's what I remember. 2 times of he failed 2 times, and then the 3rd time he ended up succeeding. So I guess that's good. And then he made me realize that, okay, so it's actually fine as long as he has the objective to make the company better, and then he's responsible for it. So I think it's okay, right? Isn't it? Is it contradicting?
Well, I'm not sure if contradicting is the right word, but what I mean is that it is quite kind of different from your initial thoughts on that thing happened on your employee.
Yes, of course. But because that episode of podcast is like it's already happened after that. After that incident, so that's why I kind of have a change of thought. But reading the book has actually happened after the incident as well. But Yes, I personally think that it's always better to do it first, especially when that thing is like very important to you. Like you hold it very dearly. So let's just try it. The worst case, if you can think about the worst case scenario, like the consequences, how to solve
Yeah.
it. Once you have that, like just go ahead and do it. Like worst case, I guess I'm not sure if he have thought that I'll fire him, but but those matters are not that huge that I'll fire him, like, because he's quite nice. Yeah. Basically, he solves all the problems, so there's nothing bad, nothing bad. But yes, Verene,
Yeah.
do you have a moment of growth, like the most memorable moment of growth, like wow?
Actually, I think during that moment, I actually didn't realize that it's a growth, but I realized it after that. So it was during my CEO time at our club.
CEO time. Wait, you say that like people will be like, whoa, CEO time.
Okay. I was.
But it's fine. Like CEO, like the president of the
Yeah.
club. We name it CEO. It's like, wow, it sounds so cool.
Okay. So yeah, like a lot of stuff happened, and in the past I'm actually okay, even until now I'm not a very confident person, but I think I've learned a lot and changed a lot during that year of me being the president. Yeah. So I didn't really think of it when I was the CEO, because you just work on whatever stuff you have, right? Then after that, like a few months later, then when I look back at it, then I realized that I actually grow a lot. Like my thoughts, my perspective, my my confidence level and all. Yeah, I actually changed a lot, and I feel that one single year made me grow a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you need to just basically you need to face so much of stuff, and then you have to take the responsibility and all. Yeah.
Do you still remember like the feeling? Can you explain the feeling?
The feeling.
Like, boom, moment.
I think what makes me think back of that feeling is that I can't remember what I was doing that time, but I think it requires me to have some confidence in myself in order to perform well. I just can't remember what is it, but then I realized that I'm so much more confident that time compared with me last time, and then
you are seeking for the reason, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's when you thought all the way back, like, oh wait, is it this particular moment that actually brought me here? Wow. Hey, okay. That makes me think of another one. But yeah, before that, Radzman, do you have any other more important, like the other than the one you had just now? Do you have any other?
I think it's more of maybe something that I personally want to achieve. Like I'm interested in music, and
okay.
I've been I've been involved in making music, but for my own self, I didn't make music for others. So I think that experience was actually really rewarding for me, because it that again it means something to me. So I think that the whole experience of making music, even until now, that it rewards me in terms of my own satisfaction. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you actually post it out for people to listen, or what?
Sorry?
Do you actually post it out or share with people about your music?
Occasionally, but I don't really want to share. Because I think it's something that I will actually do even if nobody knows about it. I will actually do for my own self. Yeah.
Also, okay, but you don't prefer sharing it out?
I have a lot of thought about that, but maybe due to personal preference, I will just keep it to myself. Yeah.
All right. Okay, sure. But yes, relating to Enchi's, maybe Verene's, sorry, because like Enchi is like kind of Verene's original name. Verene is like the English name, so I can't help but saying that name because we're using Google Meet this today, and the name is just there. So when I see that, and I can't help reading that out. But yes, relating to Verene's experience, I had a very similar growth experience as well. It happened during university year, but slightly earlier than the Marines, because a lot has happened during my university years, and I think if you were to ask me in 2017 before I joined uni, even I think the first few months when I joined uni, if you ask me, will I actually work on things like this podcast, like YouTube or whatever, I probably wouldn't do that, because even if you asked me to go onto the stage, I would like shiver on the stage.
Are you serious? The first time I know about you is you standing on stage presenting, and I think you're very confident though.
Yes, okay, that one, let's start with that one then. That one is a moment of forced growth as well.
Oh, okay.
Because okay, just for everyone's context and Radzman context. So that class is actually a class called Study Skills for Science.
Yeah.
Is it? Study Skills for Science, and then so it's actually quite interesting. The lecturer just asked us to present an idea, an app idea that we had. So we wrote it down. We had a week to prepare it, and I kind of partner it up with another friend, and then we just write it out. But actually, it's more of my idea. He's just like he's quite nice. He wasn't those people who are interested in like app ideas and all that. I am, but I know that he's a nice friend, so we kind of teamed up. I had an idea, I wrote it out. He's quite okay with it. So yeah, on that day when the lecturer is asking for people to present it, because the app idea thing, I kind of wanted to enter the entrepreneurship scene ever since I joined uni. So I wanted to present that. It's a very important for me, and I know that I am very, very scared of like presentation and all this, like standing in front of stage. I care about how people will think of me. Yeah, like that moment when you're in front of the stage, you can see so many people, you can see all the expression, like kind of you can read how they judge you. So that moment is actually very scary. So I'm afraid of that. But I do know that if I don't do this, I will forever be this way. So I just raised up my hand and went out. I was just like, all in or nothing. It's basically all in or nothing. Let's just try it out. If I die, I die, whatever, something like that. So I went out. I'm glad to know that I look very confident in your perspective, in Verene's perspective, because at that moment in time, I'm actually very nervous. That's why I am actually very loud. I believe I'm very, very loud.
He's like really, really loud.
Yes, and yeah, I was just like presenting my idea, and even in the end, I have no idea what to say, and then I kept on saying like kind of made it in a pitch or something like that. I think this is a very valid idea, and if anyone is looking to invest this, yeah, feel sure you contact me or something else. I literally ran out of things to say. I don't want to cut it so short that it sounds awkward. So yeah, that's what I did. That's actually one moment which I felt growth as well, because the ability being is it ability? The ability to push myself out there at that moment in time, I consider that growth as well. But following that, many things happened. I actually, I made myself the co-head of the program team in one of the major, I think the major entrepreneurship event on campus, our Global Youth Entrepreneur Challenge Camp. So that gave me the chance to actually actively participate in organizing a camp, and then I was able to design games. And another thing, mainly speaking out all this, I learned a lot on speaking out in university, because I'm in a meeting and you gotta speak out when you need help from others. You gotta speak out. When you want to tell everyone about what you're doing, you have to speak out. And I'm still very nervous back then. Even after that event, I became the vice president of the COP next year. even when I'm the vice president of the club, during the first meeting, I'm still very afraid of speaking out. I still remember that. Yes.
What?
But luckily that at that moment, the environment forced me to grow as well. I believe the same as yours, Verene, because like you are the vice president, you just can't sit there and just be quiet. So I had no choice. Well, I know that I need to improve, and then the environment forced me to do that. So both came together, and boom, I learned to speak out and stuff. So now in meetings and all that, I was able to like just actively tell my ideas and then discuss with everyone about all this. And this happened I think I learned this in the first 2 years of my university, both because I really know that this is a very thing that I'm very weak at. So I must improve, or I'll stay the same. And another thing is when you reach a point where the environment forces you to do that, so you just do that. But the feeling comes when I just like, wow, did I just do that? And when maybe because when you always hesitate to do that because you are afraid of something, and usually at that point I'm afraid of how people will think of me when I speak out this way. But then after that I realized that so yeah, nothing happened. It's okay. It's not as bad as I think. Then I kind of felt that feeling of growth. Okay, I did this. Everything is fine. Perfect. I grow. Yeah. But yeah, continuation after this, actually I had another another period of growth, because eventually this actually turned bad. This speaking out thing went over the edge, I think. Yeah. And it turned into arrogance kind of. It turned into arrogance where I'm too comfortable in my position, where I start to kind of denying other people's opinion and stuff, and even all the way into starting a company with employees and all that. So the second employee help the point I talk about, like the second employee actually helped me realize that, oh yeah, we should be more acceptive on stuff. Like I still had a bit of arrogance back then, but I think on my second, or let's not say the first year or second year, because I had a foundation year, so it sounds very complicated. But I think on 2019, is it? Yeah, 2019
Yes.
to 2020.
Yes.
So after I ended my term as the vice president, I continued the next term as a design officer, and that's when Verene is the president, and I was working as a design officer. So the team is just so different that I would say that it's very different. So I wasn't used to working with a team where I would still say that they are not very decisive.
Yeah.
So they like to throw the question around, and I just can't accept working with a team like this. So there's a few times where I was very arrogant. I just like spoke up like, wow, can't you guys just like make a decision or something? Yeah, that was terrible. I learned that afterwards. I learned that afterwards when I realized that, mainly I realized that I need to change, because people started to how do I say it? Avoid me, getting further away from me, because they know like basically I'm hard to work with. So that's why they are not working with me and stuff. And I understand that that there must be something wrong. Therefore I figure it out. Yeah, maybe I'm being too arrogant. And the thing about groups and all this, that you will never be able to find the same exact group every time. Like it's almost impossible. Everyone is different. So the dynamic of the team will be definitely different. So I just have to accept it. You can perhaps try to change the team, the group, but it's usually not recommended, because change doesn't depend just on you. It depends on the other person as well. So you can either change it if they want to change it, or maybe like just cope with it. So yeah, that's when I learned that I shouldn't be so arrogant. Yeah, it's true. And especially, there is still a hierarchy. I being the design officer, I should be more in control of just my design officer role instead of like taking over everything. Taking over everything. So yeah, that's a moment of growth as well. So but this feeling comes when I realize that something is not right around me. People are not trying to work with me and all this. So like I grow to be to I grow to solve to fix this mistake. Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually understand that because before I was the president, I was the secretary of the club, and then I basically work with the same group of people as Andrew worked with. Yeah, so I understand the difference. And when when I just became the president, it actually I have the same feeling like, why is it so different from the previous one? And then everything is so difficult now. Yeah, but then you just need to adapt yourself, and then if you can't change people, then you change yourself.
Yes. Yeah. But yes, Radzman, other than the feeling of growth, other than the feeling of growth on your own, have you experienced when you maybe find that your family or your friends actually grew, and then probably it's like sometimes a very emotional emotional point where you just tell them, hey bro, like I find that you have grown or something something you have changed, but then you have grown to be someone better. Have you experienced that before?
With my
Friends, family, or anyone around you?
Yeah, one of my close friends, he was actually quite different 10 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And now he's very different. I mean, like, he's like a totally new person. Maybe somehow in those time frame of 10 years, I don't know how, but he actually become. I mean, I've always been close to him, but he's not actually really popular among his friends also. So
Okay.
probably because of his attitude, but I've always okay hanging out with him. And then somehow in these 10 years, he's somehow changed, but I've never told him about it. But he has more friends now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for him, but I didn't actually see how I didn't foresee the impact actually, because he's more or less the same to me, but I can see that some slight changes in his attitude has a profound effect on other people. So maybe even the slightest change can bring a significant effect to you to your social life. Yeah.
Probably you should tell him. And just find the time, like, hey bro, you really grew like compared to 10 years ago when I knew you back then.
Yeah, but it's just that everything works well right now, so I don't want to spoil anything. Just let it be.
No, maybe I mean like just maybe take this as something like encouragement or something like, hey.
Yeah.
Because
I guess so.
I do tell my friends as well. I do have two close friends, and one of them I do see that he grew, but then I think he grew in like mindset terms. So he had kind of a different mindset. Yeah, and initially I couldn't really accept. I just find it kind of conflicts with my life principles and all this. So I couldn't really accept what he was thinking, like his mindset and all that. But then when I actually realized that we should be more acceptive of other people's way of life, anything, like everyone can live their own way of life, right? And especially you as a friend, it's always better to be supportive. Like as long as they're not doing any harm to the world or to themselves, like you should always be supportive of their way of living or anything. And then I actually realized that they've grown. And then when I realized that something that they've been doing very well at, actually I think listening as well. He's actually quite good at listening and then like telling people things in a very calm way. So I actually went and tell him like, something which I've really, really because sometimes we just have this kind of emotional session now where we just sit down and then we talk about all this, like the problem we face and all this. So of course, when we talk after talking about problem we face, like it's kind of sad. Then we'll just go back and say maybe how to improve, and then we'll talk about like you've been doing well in this regards, and I'm very impressed by what you have done on this. And for him, it's particularly on listening, and then I just tell him like, yeah, you're actually a very good listener, which I'm very impressed. I'm like trying to learn how you actually sit down and listen to people's opinion, listen to people saying many things and stuff, and then actually give good answers and all this. So yeah, I do go and tell him that yeah, you've been doing well. It's like world isn't so bad. You might face some problem, but then like I'm glad that you are very good in this, and it's a lot better than maybe 10 years ago or something like that. So yeah, this is my. But how do I felt that? I'm not sure how did I felt that he grew or something. If I think about it. I guess I kind of see a different figure in him. Originally, I just see like a friend figure in him, but then I suddenly can associate another role for him, like maybe like a listener. Like in my mind, I will think of him as a friend that I will go to if I have something deep to talk about and all this. He actually can give advice and all this. So yeah, I guess that's the moment when I felt growth in him. Verene?
Yeah.
For you? I believe you definitely have. You have quite a bunch of friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you like from minor growth to major growth, definitely they must have experienced that.
Yeah. I think for my group of friends that consists of boy and girl that yeah. So I think last time a few years ago, so me and another two girls were actually sometimes we won't be telling basically everything to the guys because we are just not at the same level
Sexist.
of So
I'm being sexist?
what? No.
No, that's not.
Okay.
I mean, we tried too, but we know it doesn't work that time because we are not at the same level of thinking that time. So we think, well, might as well just don't talk about those stuff because you don't understand me, I don't understand you. No point wasting time and all. But then recently, these few years, we actually feel very different because we started to have a lot of those very deep conversations, very deep discussion about life and all. And then that is when we realized that we all grow and change, and then we are like at the same pace now, so we can discuss most of the stuff together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's important to maybe to reflect on ourselves also. Maybe there is some aspect of our own personality that has changed, but we don't actually realize it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's quite important for us to have a good group of friends that maybe can provide some advice. Maybe can tell. I mean, just tell it as it is. No sugarcoating.
Yes. That's actually very important. Especially when we just become close friends. There is no point sugarcoating. Kind of like, what's the meaning of trying to please each other if we are like close friends? If we still can't talk about the truth, then are we still close friends anymore? Yeah. That's very true. That's very true. Yeah, that's one thing I try to keep with my friends as well. Yeah. But yes, how? Okay, let's focus about the reflecting thing. The reflecting thing, because we usually need to reflect first. Reflect first before we can experience the growth, and then experiencing growth is another thing. So, how would you say? How would you reflect, Radzman?
I think for me it's quite easy, maybe because of my personality, I guess. I like to spend my time alone. Yeah, and I mean, I do like hanging out, but I do enjoy spending my time alone also. So a lot of my time I will actually think about about serious serious things, like aspirations, or things that actually that has meaning to me, that I want to do in life. So I think that's how I go into that. It's how I have my own perception on things by just being alone, I guess.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So spending some me time.
Yeah.
What about you, Verene?
Um, you mean what will I do to self-reflect?
Yes.
Well, I'm not like you who journal every day, but I journal once in a while. Yeah. So that's the time that I really went deep into whatever I'm facing and I'm feeling that particular period of time. Yeah, then I reflect on that. But then sometimes when I'm not journaling, because I kind of like to imagine stuff and like imagining if if let's say 10 minutes ago the same thing happened, what will I do if so maybe I'll do something different and all. Yeah, I actually like to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
But yeah, for the second one you talk about, the first one journaling, I agree. But the second one, it may work or it may not work. So when it worked negatively, it would have a totally adverse effect.
Yeah.
So like how imagine, I believe this happens to most people, but it definitely happens to me. So when you get into an argument or something, every time after the argument, when you think back, instead of thinking how to solve the argument, you probably think about how better can I fight back in that argument. I'm not sure if you guys had this thought before, but for me it happens to me. So that way that Verene used might not work all the time for me. Yeah, unless it's possible that you can like train your own mind, like always try to think of solution instead of like trying to like revenge or something.
But I think it works for me because usually after that time I'm more calm that time, so I won't be thinking how can I fight better.
Not currently. I do use that method as well, because I will think of it, and my mind will just wander off to try to think of the revenge part. But I will. Luckily, I can realize it, and then I'll just tell my mind like, why are you? I'll just kind of have a conversation with my mind, and, like, why are you thinking of trying to make a revenge, and then like, if after this revenge, what outcome do you get? Does it actually help? What is your ultimate objective behind this? You're trying to solve a problem, and then not causing more negative not more negativity between like both of you guys or something, right? So then at least I can relieve that revenge feeling and then try to think about how can I better solve this. So it kind of works, but then maybe it requires some training and stuff. And stuff. But I really like Radzman method, where like being alone. I enjoy being alone as well. Actually, I really enjoy being alone, because I'm not sure, like the peacefulness and calmness it's kind of enjoyable, and then it allows your brain to think of more new things, like, because I really like to not overthinking. I like to imagine things and stuff, like, even though it can turn out weird or anything. That's why I like to think of ideas and all this. So yeah, but including reflecting into that, yes, that definitely helps, when you can like really think about what problem you have faced. Basically, that's what happened to me when I was being too arrogant. I thought of, so I've been facing all these problems. So is it actually the world hating me, or is it just me? But most of the time, it's not the world hating you.
Yeah.
Why would the world hate you? Like, like, why would the world care about you? So it's really me.
That's very sad. Why would the world care about you?
I mean like it's true in a way, but you should look at it in another way. So when I watch another YouTube where I talk about starting out in YouTube, they actually say that, so a lot of people care about how people will judge you after you start YouTube, your friends and everything. But he just said that actually, people are too busy caring about what they're doing or caring about how people think about it or whatever. So people won't really care about you when you do all this stuff. So don't overthink so much that people will just like go and comment your video like, oh man, like look at my friend, his video sucks or something. So it's probably like they don't happen. Like don't try to think that people don't care you in a negative way, but basically everyone is too busy on their own where they don't really have time to put so much attention on you, which is good. Try out more things then. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I guess any more feeling of growth that both of you would like to share?
In terms of personal growth or
Either I like personal growth or maybe like growth you find in others. Would you like to share? I do have one though. Now I suddenly thought of it. Yeah.
maybe a start.
Sure. So just now I share about the growth I saw in my friend, my one of my close friends. And now actually I would like to talk about the growth in my the growth I see in my dad. My dad. Because yeah. My dad was actually quite a heated person back then, let's say 10 years ago. Actually 10 years ago, when I think back, it makes me feel like I'm so old, like oh 10 years ago. But yeah, he was very a heated person, and then he wouldn't be a person that you want to talk to, because you know that he won't be listening to you. You're just like, oh. Then you ask him what you actually say, like, huh? Oh, so what have you actually said? And then it seems like he doesn't care about most of the stuff. But over the years, many things have happened. But you realize that I guess you kind of realize. I realize his growth when he actually comes and help me when I face problems. So I thought I'm closer to my mom. Let's say like 10 years ago or something. But then there was just one time when I realized that wait, I actually find that my dad is more important to me, because my English teacher just asked me, so who do you think you're closer with in your family? I always had this thought that I'm closer with my mom, but no. At that point in time, I just found out that when I face problems and everything, dad is always the one that's with me, that's supporting me, thinking of solution, helping me. Yeah, like he doesn't like just runs away or just tell you that you deserve it. I told you not to do this. Like look at you, you deserve this. Whatever outcome that you're facing right now, he actually come and help himself. So I realized that, but he has changed also. Like now, I would talk to him and stuff, because he's someone that he won't listen to answer. He listen to understand. So some people just listen so that they can like just give an answer, just to fill up the conversation or something like that. In fact, he's actually someone that actually listens to understand, and then he will help out whenever possible. Yeah, of course, this is nowhere near perfect, but it's not trying to seek for perfection. It's mainly as long as someone is trying to actively seeking growth, then that is good. That's why I can see that they are actually growing. So that's, I can see the difference lah. That's when I realized like wow, my dad is growing. Something like that.
Actually, I find it quite interesting that you realize that, because usually like parents for us will think that a lot more mature and all than us, so we don't really go and think about that.
Maybe I don't know, man. I don't really feel like saying this, because saying this I kind of feels that, but maybe there's some kind of comparison. So let's say imagine both of your dad and mom have always been supportive.
Yeah.
Because they are basically the two person that you trust the most. So if they are all very supportive and stuff, so maybe then in that case you won't see their growth or something.
Yeah.
But like they both they're definitely the same. But that's cool. Maybe you'll just be like, oh yeah, they are just good parents. But for me, like my dad has kind of been like a bad parent back then, and now he became a good parent. So like kind of have a comparison-ish thing. And then like so that like
I can understand from your point because I think one of my friend, her parents is not that so I actually can see that. I mean, I can compare her parents with my parents, and I know my parents. I know my parents have been changing all these years, but I can't think of that point where they grow.
Okay. Yeah. It's maybe like minor improvement that's a bit hard to see.
But saying, okay.
No, it's okay. You can continue.
Okay, so speaking about grow, I think my brother, I actually see that as well because back then he was those every day sleeping in class at time of student, so his grades is very bad. He didn't pass his sejarah in SPM, so he need to retake that, and but luckily he passed it after the retake, and then he's in university now. But the interesting point is that he's doing pretty well in university, and then I think maybe because responsibility and all, and then nowadays when he share his thoughts on some stuff with me, I realized that he changed a lot. I don't remember what particular time that I feel that, but I've observed that in him.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Good. Yeah, I can see that when you share it to me, but
of course he's still not very good yet, but everyone.
But it's good enough. Like when you compare to one point in time, like as long as it's a kind of better than yesterday, then it's good. At least hopefully it will continue. He will continue to be better than yesterday.
And
that's the thing that we hope for.
He can even give advice that to our youngest brother. Those advice I remember is what I gave him last time.
Okay. He's like reusing previous resources. Okay, it's good. At least he's using them better than like not implementing them and then not using them. I believe at this point he must have implemented those advices.
Because
therefore now he's actually giving it.
Because he said last time, he can talk to me about all this stuff, but not to our parents because he thinks that my parents don't understand him. But for me, I don't deny whatever he's doing. I accept it, but I give a, let's say, win-win solution.
Okay. Yes.
So he can accept my advice better.
Okay. Yeah, Radzman, what were you gonna say just now?
No, I was just going to ask a question actually.
Oh sure. Ask away.
I want to know what kind of skill or anything that you want to improve on. I mean, just to feel, just for your own growth, I think.
For personal growth.
Yeah. I mean, as for me, I think I want to be able to speak more confidently in public because I'm like you actually. I don't like attention. I don't like a lot of people looking at me. So I'm quite nervous. If I'm I get anxious really.
There's one I think probably one way that you can try out, which I think I'll try out in the future as well. So I actually learned this from a YouTuber. It's actually called Ali Abdal, and Verene will know that. Like that's like the YouTube guru that I've been following.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was very he's an introvert back then. I'm not sure if he's still now. Yeah, but so because he realized that he's been very quiet, not speaking up much when he's actually moving from high school to university. The principal of the high school actually told him that told him all these things are telling that if you are trying to be a doctor, you can't be. Yeah, he's currently a doctor, junior doctor, which now actually he left his junior doctor role and got into full-time YouTuber or something like that. But yeah, so the principal actually told him that if you want to be a doctor, you can't continue being this way. You have to improve in some ways. You have to speak up and all this. So one way he used is that whenever he go to an event, he will force himself to ask a question. Just raise up his hand and then ask a question. And yeah, and after that he implemented that for years, and I think even until now he's still doing that just for the sake of doing it, but then like no harm doing it. Because one thing is that it forces you to speak out, so you learn that actually it's not that scary speaking out. And then you realize another thing is that sometimes the question you're asking is actually a question that others want to ask as well. It's just that they don't dare to ask. Because one time when he's asking this question, the person next to me next to him just tell him that, oh yeah, actually I've really wanted to ask this question as well, but I just didn't dare to ask it because I don't know how people will think of me. Yeah, so well, possibly that's one way you can try out. I will try out as well, because I whenever I join events, I do think that as well, like, yeah, is this like a stupid question or something? Like, how will people think about me when I ask that? But I think, yeah, just go ahead. Like there's no harm. Like, what's the worst thing will happen? People won't just brand this guy as a like stupid question person or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of facing your own fear, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people don't really care about you, but you have this kind of irrational fear that people will judge you, but people don't really care. I mean, they will form an opinion about you, but then they will forget about it in 10 minutes.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree with you.
It's just because...
What were you going to say?
No, I mean, it's just because, like, you're the main character of your own life, right? I mean, you're the main subject, so you think everything is about you, but no.
Yes. Like, basically, everyone is basically thinking like, oh, like the world is about me, but no, like everyone just care about themselves, so they won't really care about you as well. Something like that. But yes, if you talk about one thing, if I really want to improve on, let me start with the fear that I want to conquer first. This is not really like improve; it's just a fear that I want to conquer, and then it's like a very funny thing. So I'm very afraid of snakes. So I'll probably just want to conquer this, like having all those like.
I think you should keep it that way.
What?
You should keep it. you should keep being afraid of snakes, I guess.
I know, like, since they have all those. Are those python and stuff like in zoo they get to put it on your shoulder and all that? Are those python and
cobra? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think it's cobra. Cobra because they don't allow that. I think it's python, so they allow you to put it on your shoulder and stuff, and then take picture and that. I'll probably try those out and then touch snakes or whatever. Just try to overcome the fear. Of course, not going in depth like go and try to catch snakes or whatever. No, I'm just like basically try to conquer that. I don't mind touching them, like taking pictures with them, like all that. That's like a fear that I want to conquer. But in terms of self-improvement, I think I'll work on trying to maintain relationship better. So, because one thing I face is that after maybe going to an event, after knowing someone, like talk a while or something, and then I just kind of disregard with connecting to them anymore. I mean, they might really don't care about this, but if I think that someone that person is like interesting or something, maybe I should just like initiate the conversation instead of waiting for them to say that, oh, you're actually an interesting person, let's be friends. But maybe I should be an initiator and see how it turns out. If they are really not comfortable with like trying to be friends or something, like it's fine lah. But like maybe if I try it out, then maybe they're thinking the same thing, and yeah, so we might end up having a new interesting friend relationship. Yeah, broadening my opening up my social circle. So this is something that I would like to do.
Yeah, I think that sometimes we as an adult we make things complicated for ourselves, you know. I mean, back when we were kids, we just like, you know, I like you and then I want to be friend with you and that's it. And then now we just think about a lot of things before we even approach someone, right? Just to be friends.
Yeah. I heard almost the exact same sentence from you for exact same sentence in another podcast. They're just saying like, yeah, back when we were friends, when we want back when we were young, when we want to make friends, we just like, yeah, can we just be friends?
Yeah.
But now, why don't we just go to other people and let's just say that, can we just be friends? Like, we feel weird with that, right? Why are we like more complicated now when we compare to like when we were a child? Like, it's actually very funny.
Yeah. I've written somewhere that when you're as you grow older,
Mm?
I mean, for maybe when you're 60 or 70, it's more difficult for you to make friends at that age. And then not some lah, but a lot of people end up being lonely and living a miserable life. So it's kind of sad because it's just a matter of communication. But I guess we don't normalize it, you know, we don't normalize approaching people and just telling people how we feel.
Yeah,
Maybe because we don't want to, in a way, we don't want to invade other people's privacy, or we don't want to, like, you know, disturb other people. So we have a lot of concerns.
Yeah, we overthink too much.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I should let you try out. You know, there's because like a book that maybe I believe everyone should check out is the 4-Hour Work Week, and then they in the beginning, because the book is trying to force you to how do I say that, to challenge your own normal social perception and all this, where like making friends is hard and all this. So there's like all this tiny exercise that's very funny. So example would be like, try to stare into the eye of a person, like random guy on the street, keep staring until he looks away or something. Yeah, like just doing that, because whenever we look at someone and then they look back, we try to just look at somewhere, because we just feel that, like, okay, would that person think that we are weird looking at that person? But then the book just say that you should really try this just to conquer this fear. That, and worst case, if that person really come to you and ask you why you actually keep staring at him, you just tell them, you actually look like someone familiar. You just look like someone familiar, but I realized that you're not that person. Sorry for like staring at you for so long. But yeah, even until now, the one thing is because I didn't get to go out for very long because COVID-19. Another thing is, when I do go out, when I do remember this, I still have that fear. So just to try to conquer this, I find this quite interesting. And like the excuse that you've given, like when someone just approach you and ask you what they're staring, it's actually quite valid. So I think it's workable. Yeah, just I need to overcome my fear to try it out. And then I think this is actually quite a fun thing to do. Because like, when people stare at you, nothing wrong, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you're harassing anyone.
Yeah. But yes, Verene, if it's one thing that you would like to improve, what would you like to improve on? One self-growth, personal growth.
I think it's about my confidence as well. Yeah. Yeah. So, whenever because I'm looking for a job now. So usually when I prepare for those interview questions that I go through, that usually there's one question. Well, not all employees will ask about it, but it's about your weakness. Then I think about it, and I realize, the most the weakness that I have is I'm quite shy when it comes to speaking in a group, like especially people I'm not that familiar with. So
we have the same problem, all three of us.
Yes.
And then even just that you say, just raise your hand and ask a question, and then I remember of those lecture classes, I don't even dare to raise my hand and ask a question. And then when we move online, people is not looking at us as well, but I don't even dare to type it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Understand.
So I think that's the one main thing that I think I should really improve on.
Okay, yeah, this gave me a thought, because since I'm actually resuming my study next year, I should really try to force myself to ask a question every lecture class.
But last time, do you actually raise your hand and ask a question?
I think very, very few times only, like probably one or two times. Like for the whole 3 years, foundation, year 1 and year 2. Probably one, 2 times, something like that. Yeah, so very few times. But in events, I mean, like not in lecture class, if it's in events, I think that's a few more times in events.
Yeah.
So
I would expect you to be more open in class because you know all your friends, right? But instead,
not really though.
you're doing the opposite.
Yeah, I mean in class, cause like in university, well, at least for mine, you definitely don't know everyone. Like like, and then especially that there's like a cool kids bunch, there's like a nerd bunch, like there's your bunch, something like that. And then sometimes you care, at least for me, to be honest, I do care about like, oh, how would the cool kids bunch think about me, something like that, or that. Yeah, but eventually, I think in this past year where after learning like more stuff on self-improvement and all this, like attention and all this, yeah, I realized that it's really not important how they think about me lah. Yeah, just like, yeah, why do you care about how the cool kids bunch think about you? If they do think about, like, maybe, okay, I thought of joining the cool kids bunch, but the thing is, if they judge you so heavily based on that question and don't allow you to join them, is it still worth joining them?
Yeah.
Because like they just judge you based on that one single thing. So it's probably not really worth trying to join that group anymore, because you probably won't grow much together with them. So I realized that, yeah.
Yeah, if they make that kind of simple judgment about you, maybe they're not cool after all. Right?
yeah, exactly. Cool. Amazing statement. All right, I guess we can kind of wrap up at this point.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we don't really have a point to wrap up though, because like this is just a mutual sharing of like a feeling of growth. So basically, it's yeah.
I think I can talk for more few hours. I mean, I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like end point to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll just skip the wrap up part. But actually, every time after our wrap up, so we have this section where we just share any insights that you actually have this week. Do you have any insights, Radzman, for this week? Something you learned?
Oh,
something interesting you find out?
not much, because nothing much happens this week, because except for me spending a lot of time learning Japanese. I'm learning Japanese actually right now.
Oh,
yeah. So most of my time I spend learning all the kanji. But I think it's quite similar to the Chinese. I don't know, you call it kanji also?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen some Chinese kanji that is similar to the Japanese one, like water. I think it's the same shape. Yeah. And I think it will be much easier for you guys to learn if you're interested.
Verene actually went for a Japanese course.
Oh, really?
Last time.
Oh, okay. You can be my teacher now.
But yeah, Verene, what about you? Do you have any insights?
I don't think I have any this week. It's been I think a boring week for me.
Okay. For me, I'm not sure if I share this last week, but yeah, because it's something that I've been trying to implement this week. So, because I was trying to be more productive by trying to fit more things into my daily schedule, trying to do more things every day.
Mm-hmm.
But then I encountered one article that talks about, so at one point you actually should, instead of keep adding things in your life, you should learn to subtract things from your life. So instead of trying to do more, you should be focusing on a few things that you want to do, you want to excel at, and then take away those that are not that essential. So not trying to do more within a small amount of time, but try to, because if you have been trying to do quantity for quite some time, it ensures you that you can complete quantity, but now you need to focus on quality. So you need to find out which are the things that you think are the most important to you, that you want to really excel at. So eliminate all the other stuff, and then now using this same amount of time, just spend it on this important thing. Mm-hmm. Try to put in most of your effort into it. So yeah, this is something that I've learned, because I last week I added a few things. I tried to read more articles and something like that. Try to learn a few more courses, and then I just find that wow, I am so busy for the whole day, and then I felt so stressed. So then while I was reading, while I was continuing with my scheduled reading article every day, I encountered this article, so I decided to start actually eliminating some non-essential things from my to-do list every day. So now I can focus on the more important things to actually ensure that I will produce quality in those things.
Yeah, you actually reminded me of something. Like last time, I forget where I read this from, and it's about a person who's been very busy every day. He's basically doing a lot of stuff every day, but after a very long period of time, he seemed not improving. Becoming better, because you don't have a ultimate aim that you are going to. You just basically do a lot of this and this and this, but you are not doing something to produce a better quality of something.
Okay, understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, basically you're just like kind of doing for the sake of doing. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to fill up the time. Like, oh, I did something, but then in the end, you're actually not going anywhere. You're probably not even absorbing the knowledge as well. Okay. All right. In this case, I guess then it's actually the end of this episode. So yes. Thank you, Radzman, for joining this episode. It's been cool having you for being our first guest.
Really, I'm honored to be your first guest. It's been fun. Thank you.
It's like it's something that I guess it's kind of growth for us as well, because we definitely don't know how this will turn out, but then we just know that eventually we want to hear more voices in our podcast as well. So we just wanted to invite someone up here.
Even before we started recording this episode, I was feeling a bit nervous.
What?
No, because I just don't know, like, how should I, interact with others.
Oh,
Because
I think you're doing great. You're doing great, both of you. How many episodes have you done so far? 7, right? I mean, the one that actually published.
Okay, let me just check. Actually, we have a few in the backlog already. Because after Verene completed her exam, so she's been on a break, and then we've just been publishing more and more online. So now actually we have 11, total of 11, and then the 8. I think the latest one is the 8th episode that is actually just published today.
Oh, okay.
So we have a few in the backlog as well. But yes, I think this will be the end of this episode. Thanks everyone for listening to this episode. And if you guys liked it, do leave a rating. Maybe you can put it on. But I think rating is only available on Apple Podcasts. But otherwise, if you have any feedback or if you have any questions, do send it to our email. But other than that, thanks everyone for listening, and hope to see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed, do share with your friends and family and leave us a review on the Apple Podcast. If you are not using an Apple device, you can leave a review on the Apple Podcast website with a link in the show notes. If you have any feedback or thoughts which you hope that we'll discuss in the future, feel free to email them to us at hello@incthoughts.com, or alternatively, you can send us a private message on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter with the username of incthoughtspod. Thanks again, and see you all next week. Bye-bye. Alright. Are you okay, Radzman?
Yeah, good. but what about our recording? Because I think that we weren't really synchronized, right? Our clap.
No, I will just synchronize up that. So the clap at least makes it easier. So I'll like kind of tune it a bit.
Okay.
Try to match up the time. So
okay.
No, not an issue. But yeah, how do you find, like, is it your first time on like kind of recording something?
Yeah. I'm a bit nervous, I think, because I try to not to think that this will be published online. But somehow in the back of my mind, I have that kind of, okay, you know what, everyone will listen to this, and
okay.
Yeah, but it's been fun. We can do this again.
Pardon what? Oh,
You
this,
can-
yeah, sure. So, yeah, but no worries. At least for me, you're doing well.
Yeah.
And especially compared to our first few episodes as well, like it's yeah, probably those happen even worse. And there's actually one hidden episode because
Oh.
before our episode 1, we had one episode 0 where we're just testing out everything else, and then we published that episode as well, but
Oh,
then
is it?
we did not advertise it, so we did not put it on our social media and everything. We just
Oh.
published it, and as a test lah, we want to see how publishing and everything works. A few people actually listen to it, but we don't know who they are because we just like. And then when we uploaded the first episode, we just like deleted that episode.
Okay.
Yeah, because like that's just a testing episode lah. Yeah, so that's
I
what
think
we did.
by this point I should click the record button again, right?
Oh, you stop recording.
I mean I'm still recording.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then yeah, it's okay. I think
leave it?
we'll, so this is actually the postscript. So we'll put this after the outro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like we just like generally discuss about
Oh, okay, okay.
the episode.
Okay.
But yeah, so good experience. Would you try to do your own podcast in the future?
Yeah, I did ask you about it, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's
Oh,
much
you
easier.
wanted to do one.
Yeah, for a long time
Oh.
actually, but I think it's much easier for you guys because you're a couple. And I cannot find someone who can actually commit to a podcast. I mean, like for every week.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe I can find. Maybe I can just have a guest every week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually how people are doing it as well. But actually, the podcast that inspired me to do this podcast, they are actually it's Ali Abdal as well, and his brother Timo Abdal, and even for them, they have just been consistent for a few, I think, for a month or two, where they upload every single week. But then after that, they actually slack off.
Oh.
Sometimes they just don't upload at all, and then they came back like 3 weeks saying that, oh, sorry, we've just been lazy. For the past 2 weeks, and then we just didn't feel like uploading it, so we're very sorry about it. And then they even have one episode where just talk about like why do we struggle with consistency. Yeah, something like that. They just try to explore the problem which are facing. Even recently, I think a few months ago they were away for like 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Have you seen any podcast that like a solo podcast? Like yeah, I
There's
thought
actually There's actually quite a
cool.
few lah. Some literally they just talk about like news and stuff, like the recent news, like some subtopics, or even like book sharing. And others they do invite guests and all that. Yeah, they do talk about a few topics and all that. Yeah, maybe like there's a lot of ways to try out. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a matter of just doing it, instead of thinking.
Yeah, you can try it out. Well, we'll definitely help advertise it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. I think at this point, I think we will end it here then. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, then we'll just stop the recording.
Oh.